I mean, it's a gorgeous day. Oh. There's like these flies that get stuck over there. Okay, I sat down for a reason. We're starting avoidance journey. I don't need any new information. That's step one. I don't need any new information. I don't need to figure out what an avoidance journey is. Don't need to define anything. I've been avoiding things. We're going to stop doing that. But you can't just like stop doing something. In order to stop doing something, you have to start doing something else. So like even if I'm going to like stop holding this, I have to put it down. If I'm going to stop talking, I have to like activate some other kind of thing, whatever. So in order to stop avoiding, I'm going to have to pay attention to something on purpose. So here we go, paying attention to something on purpose. A Google Sheet. That's a great place to start. Is it going to bug you if I narrate this whole situation behind you? Okay, you can like put your headphones in and just ignore me. If I don't talk out loud.
No, I understand. That's how human brains work. You have to put everything in.
We do. You have to put everything in a line in order for it to make sense. So, oh, man, I'm going to figure out some features. We were really starting from one. Okay. Once journey. Okay, what are some things that I'm avoiding? Okay, I'm low-key avoiding writing because I love doing that. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna have like another like brain dump. Because that's the thing, is whenever you start looking at stuff, you start seeing what's there. Okay, I'm avoiding writing, and this is a good idea. I feel good about this. Oh. But and because our a fun little like mental game that I use to tell what my energy is doing, like what I'm doing with my energy. The word but reverses the energy, the word because intensifies it. So I was like, I'm avoiding writing for these reasons. It doesn't matter. I'm avoiding writing. Let's see. Ooh, I'm going to reference the source material. Let's see. Oh, she just has what she's been avoiding. It's just a list of what she's been avoiding, and then what she's completed, and then how it resolved. So then this needs to be more specific. I need a more specific list. Okay, so I've been avoiding writing. I've also been avoiding like feeling embarrassed, because all this stuff that I have been avoiding, a main reason is because it's been embarrassing. Telling my parents about my life just generally. They stopped being interested in things about me whenever I stopped being interested in things about Jesus. So here we go. It's fun. Avoiding. Another thing I'm avoiding is moving my license to Washington. I really want to move to Washington like as soon as possible. And in order to do that, I have to make money out there. I have to have a flow of money that can like help me ground in that place. Like that's how people get to be places these days. It's not ever because you deserve it or you earned it or you're good enough for it. You just have the money for it, and that makes it possible for you to have it. So I'm looking for that. I currently have. Oh man. I currently have a list of things I'm accepting to get through whatever. I'm accepting things about the present moment to get through. And part of like what I'm accepting makes me avoid these things. Because another thing I'm avoiding is like expanding my business, starting a podcast. Although the truth is, I'm not really procrastinating that. I'm not really avoiding that. I'm like noticing the path of least resistance or whatever. But there has been avoidance about that. Any other big things that I'm avoiding? Oh, I'm avoiding like learning to cook. Been kind of dancing around that for a really long time. Very lucky in that manner. But I have been avoiding it. Which is also about like getting a sense of my tastes, like what I want, what I like. But I guess that's what this is. So I'm not really avoiding it anymore. Oh, that is like a benefit to this practice. Whenever you like write down a list of things, your brain will always try to find a way to get you out of it. We're doing great. All right, things have officially been started. It's been started. So, I'm just looking at what other people have done. Oh, here's somebody's blog. Perfect. You. Okay, I already don't. Oh gosh, would never promote this person in real life, but this is what research is about. seeing how other people do it. Okay. Let's see. All right, so we're avoiding because we're afraid of failing, feeling stupid, and things not making sense. This is so dumb. Excuse me. Yeah, this is terrible. This is like super religious. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have anything valuable in it. And I will do anything to avoid what I'm actually working on. Oh, okay. Afraid of doing things wrong or missing out. Oh, overcome the fear. Okay. So we overcome fear. She's talking about fear and facing things. Scrutinizing your past and fixing what you got wrong. Figure out your biases. No. Practice or okay. APA definition of avoidance: practice or an instance of keeping away. Ooh, I'm gonna I'm gonna include this on my spreadsheet. The practice or an instance of keeping away from particular situations, environments, individuals, or things because anticipated negative consequences or anxious, painful feelings. Okay. So we're gonna put this over here. Oh, come on. Text wrap. Okay. Things I'm avoiding. Death. Pain. Injuries. Toxic relationships. Addiction. Waste. Illness. What else am I avoiding? Wallowing in self-pity. Ruminating on negativity. Because that was an interesting thing that I learned in my schooling or whatever, was that it's actually always fine to feel okay. It's like literally always okay to feel good, even if something terrible is happening. Okay. Fascinating. So I've also been avoiding feeling too good about living in Oklahoma because I want to leave. And I think this thing and this thing are related. Like those are creating a problem for me. Well, currently I'm avoiding some other work. That would be about making calls. Let me check my email real quick. Okay. Oh, that looks good. Oh. God. Earlier I saw this video that was a bunch of cows. Oh, a bunch of cows all sitting in a field. The caption was like, they've never logged on to Teams. I felt that in my spirit. Oh, man. So action steps, I think this needs to be like several steps down the process, because the action steps need to be aligned with like goals, values, preferences. I've always wanted to publish a book. The dream of being a writer. Meaningful conversations with people.
Take in the United States, because a lot has gone down in the last 25 years. I think it's good for me to kind of put my stamp on the ground where we are.
Man, I sure have been a therapist for a while.
Transition from the Trump administration to the Biden administration, there was this contest among the two of them about who Americans would like more because they had been paid to like them. The incoming Biden administration had made it very clear that the first thing it was going to do was $1 trillion stimulus that would put money in people's hands to get over COVID. And as soon as Trump heard about this, he's like, well, I want to do that too. So I want to get my administration to leave.
Okay, so this is what I'm looking at.
Work out that way, but he did put, I think it was $900 billion.
Practice or an instance of keeping away from particular situations, environments, individuals, or things because of anticipated negative consequences or anxious, painful feelings. Yeah. Associated with whatever it is that we're avoiding. Particular situations, environments, or individuals. Being too hot. Feeling crowded.
Until the first quarter of 2024, which means we're only now finding.
There's also a layer that I'm kind of avoiding. Like, I'm trying to move to Washington. I want to move to Washington, but I'm avoiding like feeling bad about it or like bothering people. I think I might end up having to do that too. So I think some of these are like not avoidable. And by orienting your life around them, you like skip out on some valuable things about life. That goes back to values. I like being the breadwinner of my family. But part of why I like being the breadwinner has to do with like not wanting to cook. Keeping my house clean. Hobbies. I can't just say hobbies. I want to say like sewing my own clothes, developing standard patterns for my body. Because I have stuff for that and I just haven't been doing it. I wanted to have my whole wardrobe be me made as much as possible. I don't really care about making shoes, so that's not a thing. But I want to get really good at making myself clothes because I want to be able to just see something I like and then make it for myself. And I think that would be really cool to do. Provide for myself the standard of living I want. So like if I want a coffee, I make myself a coffee. I get myself a coffee. If I want something to wear, something to do, somewhere to go, something to eat, then I know that I can get it for myself.
Outside of a recession. Now, this is only one data point. I don't want to overplay this, but for the first time in American history, the government has become the primary driver of economic growth in the country. This is not a healthy position to be in. This is a very Zimbabwe, South African, Venezuelan sort of approach to economic management. Now, there's still trillions of dollars of private investment. There's still tens of trillions of dollars of private economic activity. This is not something I'm overly stressing about right now. But if the numbers from last year are repeated this year, and based on the Biden administration spending, it looks like it will be. And then next year, which
just futzing with my spreadsheet.
Absolutely indicating he plans to expand the government.
There we go.
Then we're in a different era. And if you remove the private sector is the primary driver of American economic growth, yes, you might get a little bit more populist support for the
What
government
else? Okay.
or either candidate, but it comes at the cost of long-term
Keeping
value
away
of
from
the size
particular
of the
situations,
economy.
environments, or
Certainly
individuals
the United States very
or
well
things
is.
because of anticipated negative
Now,
consequences
the
or anxious,
degree
painful
of
feelings
populism
associated with
always
whatever it
going
is
to
we're
be in
avoiding.
part, especially the
So
politics
sometimes the
of
negative
you do the
consequence
never
is that I won't
worry
have it.
past halfway through
And so by
retirement,
avoiding
you're
it,
sucked into
I don't have to
government
deal with the
Medicare,
feelings of not
Medicaid,
having it
Social
because I
Security, so the
didn't
day they die,
do it
so they don't have
or
a
whatever.
reason to
And I don't know how that works. I don't know why that keeps being the thing, but it is what it is. It is how it is. So,
on either side of the political
let's
aisle
see.
do anything about that because it's not a vote winner.
Oh, I know. I can add like
And if this sticks,
a color
we will have
code.
a problem down the line. This is a much bigger problem than the federal deficit.
Nah.
This changes
Let's
the
do
complexion
like
of the American economy
yeah.
and how we can adapt to shifts
These
in
are
needs.
things that I actually
Really is
actually would
efficient.
like to do.
It can be quick, but it's not efficient. And ultimately, the efficient use of capital is half of the American story. So, you're looking at something to worry about. I worry about that.
Because some of these are goals and some of these are actually like
Spending is stimulatory, and that suggests that for this calendar year and next, we're not looking at a recession. So, take your good news where you can.
I do need to make those calls. Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. There's like an ability to, these kind of, okay. Now I don't, okay, so sometimes you can use a feeling to find a goal, but like the feeling of wanting to like be a writer has been around since before I was avoiding writing. I've got this like figure it out energy, and there's nothing to figure out here. There's just doing it. Yeah, I don't need to really. Ooh, here's a non-male, non-white name. There we go. So this person's telling a story about getting their driver's license. They were like really avoiding it. I mean, it seems like the only reason you'd ever do anything is to feel like doing it. That's annoying. I always want there to be like some deeper, bigger, meaningful, some kind of thing like that. And there's just not. But I also realize that like the reason I want there to be something deeper and more meaningful about it is because I was told there would be. And that I was like discounting. Oh, right. That was the other part of it, is that I was discounting what was real and meaningful about it. So like in the Christian upbringing that I was a part of, it was like, God, I remember thinking it was so weird. And like we had children's church and they would let the little kids go somewhere, but they would still tell the little kids like kid versions of the same stuff they told the adults. And what they were telling the adults was that there was, everybody feels like something's missing in life. Everybody has this gaping hole in their chest and their soul, and this sense of disconnection. They were talking about everybody feels lost. And people who don't feel lost are lying to themselves about not feeling lost. And I was like, as a child, thinking, man, that's crazy. I don't feel that at all. I do not feel empty and hollow inside at all. I feel like I'm made of goodness. And then they would say, yes, and that's what makes you so evil. Which ended up, breaking my spirit at some point. And then I was a born again Christian forever, convinced myself that the hole was there, that I was not filling it, that I was not made of magic. Whew. Anyway, we're working on that. We're getting around that. But I had been avoiding that for a while. Like part of the coming out of Christian life situation had to do with just like letting myself not rely on Jesus or the church for that, and like actually pursuing getting those needs met by myself. And it worked out great. I got great friends and a wonderful life that I love a lot. But I also still have this internal habit of feeling into the emptiness and like letting that ache drive me. And I think that's where the avoidance practice comes from. So this is like a decolonizing, healing, social justice kind of blog. So I'll go ahead and share that. That's kind of cool. This is from 2019, so that's good. Coastal city down south. Transformative justice. What were they doing? Educational week. Okay. Sounds like a mission trip, but okay. Unspiritual. Yeah, see, I get this. I feel this a lot. That like some people would rather that I be less frustrated, and that it's inappropriate for me to feel like that. Yeah, yeah, I'd be mad too. But I also believe in speaking the truth with love. Yeah, gets co-opted by those who have power and are uncomfortable with confrontation. And I've actually always really prided myself on confrontation. So I think that I've been doing this as a practice since I was a child, and that I was being like very much rewarded for it. And that it is like now kind of like a default that my spiritual persona kind of takes over and doesn't, like, I don't see everything. I don't feel everything because I live in this. Well, I don't do this anymore. Well, I do that a little bit. I do this all the time. But I've been learning about like affirming someone's experience. One thing that I have been shifting to on about affirming someone's experience has been about like instead of turning the attention to the joy, I want to turn the attention to their feelings and not the situation. So I'll often try and like offer interpretations and like do you feel this way? Is this how you feel? As a way to kind of affirm, but it still doesn't go very well. Ooh, this gets me all the time. I used to try and rise above, and still a lot of people try and talk to me about rising above because they think that's what I'm doing. But I have been in this practice of like sinking down into, like letting it be, letting it do whatever it was going to do. I just still have trouble being with it. Yeah, I don't do this anymore. I'm pretty good about my language, but like censoring your language is not the same as doing the inner work. This is what I keep doing. Just letting my boundaries get repeatedly crossed because not doing so would be unloving or unkind. This is what I'm doing in my current work and my job. Letting my boundaries get repeatedly crossed because not doing so would be unloving or unkind. Talking about like, I gotta be doing this because if I don't, that wouldn't be loving or kind. I'm normally pretty good about being assertive, but I am not assertive to myself. And I feel, feel that a lot. Yeah. This, what just happened that made you feel that way, is not a very helpful question in my life. But like this messaging from when I was growing up, that was pretty helpful. Okay, so here's the plan. The avoidance journey has got to have some major steps. Okay. Major step number 1 is adequate we're going to narrow down the goals. Having more than 3 is not a good idea, because you get overwhelmed. Having only 1 makes it a little too focused, and I tend to get like out of balance when I only have 1. 3 is really a good number for me. So people do 5 or 7, and that's too many for me to remember. 3 is good. So adequate self-care. That means adequately feeding myself and keeping my space clean. Adequate self-care and like personal investment in my hobby. I'm already financially invested in my hobbies. And then shift professional energy to Washington. If I'm not going to be a therapist in Washington, I'm going to be something else out there. I could be a writer out there, but that means that I would have to write and have something to publish. I could, be whatever I wanted to be out there, but I'm going to need to shift that energy over there, doing whatever it is. And so that's okay. I need a break. That was a lot for me. I feel like we did good. I feel like I got some good energy on that. And that was a 30-minute sprint. That's not too bad at all. All right, we're going to try this again later. Short little burst. I'm going to get another cup of coffee. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to throw up and I'm probably not going to cry, but it's going to be all right either way.